Welcome everybody to today where we commemorate the memorial of Saint Josaphat, Bishop, and today is Wednesday, November 12th in year C. So if we reflect upon today's Holy Gospel, we reflect upon the 10 lepers who was all cleansed by Jesus. And Jesus wants all of us here to be like this one person who came back and thanked Jesus. So there were 10 lepers, and it can be divided into two groups. The first of which is those who are just cleansed, and the second of which is those who are cleansed and turn back towards Jesus. And so, how exactly did Jesus clean the 10 lepers? He had cleansed them to the point where leprosy was considered a worse disease. It was like experiencing COVID-19, where all of us here are going to have to struggle through this various illnesses. And so, this reminds all of us that we need to have some sense of healing. So Jesus healed all of us, and he told them to go and show themselves to the priest. And so they did that, and as a result of that, only one person came back and cleansed them. And back at the time, we can really see that people who experienced leprosy was to be avoided. And here, Jesus is the one that cleansed them out of the leprosy. And so what is the result of that? Well, they are free from these viruses to the extent that they have been set free. But then one person came back towards Jesus. And so here, there is several lessons that can be derived. All of us can at times be like the other lepers who doesn't come back to thank Jesus. Because if we are to really think about it, all of us here have struggled through a sense of sin. And yet, all of us here came to receive the sacrament of reconciliation, to which Jesus heals all of us so that all of us here can turn ourselves back towards him. But how many times do we ever turn ourselves back towards the Lord? That is the question to which Jesus is asking all of us. Because sometimes we're just so focused on ourselves to the extent that we really don't take into consideration who is it that really cleansed all of us here. And so sometimes we fall into the trap where we are like the others who don't come back to thank Jesus for all of the things that he has done for all of us. And so here, what lesson can we derive from today's Holy Gospel? Jesus reminds all of us that we should turn ourselves back to him. Because the more that we show our gratitude towards Jesus, the more we acknowledge that Jesus has done everything for us, and that he is the one that spread the love to each and every one of us. And so what is the reward for turning ourselves back towards Jesus? The reward is we experience this inner peace. The more we allow ourselves to be devoted to Christ, the more Christ is going to help guide each and every one of us. And so let us reflect upon today to which God is speaking to